Brazilians have been hiding something. They're humps. Brazilian cows have humps. And not only do they look like a creature out of the movie Dune, but they taste pretty unbelievable. The cow humps are fatty and rich, like brisket, but they're actually pretty hard to cook. If not done properly, they can be dry and taste tough like leather. Today I'm gonna be cooking a Brazilian cow hump, also known as cupim. And not only that, but I'm also gonna be making a hump burger as well. Now let's get into it. The hump comes from a type of cow called a Brahman cow, which can typically be found in Brazil. These cows have big humps and floppy ears, like a Jack Dior. They supposedly grew these humps to have more water and energy stores because they live in hot and dry weather. There's so much tough fat in these that you have to cook them low and slow. And that's what we're gonna do here. Now here I've got this beautiful cow hump. Just look at all the fat intertwined in all the meat. And the first thing we gotta do is trim it up. See this tough, leathery fat? That's not gonna taste good after cooking. Generally, if it's tough and gross before cooking, it's gonna be tough and gross after. So we'll trim this whole layer off. So I pulled off that tough outside layer, and now you can see the meat. And so there's still a bunch of fat over here, which will render down a lot better, but it's not as that tough outside part. We're just gonna get this seasoned up with only salt and pepper. A little bit of oil as a binder. With some fresh cracked pepper. And it's only right that we're cooking this on the churrasqueira. This is a Brazilian barbecue. It's a charcoal-powered thing of beauty. And I think it's the only way you can maybe cook a hump. We're gonna let this puppy sear. We'll start making our burger and come back later. For this hump burger, we're gonna start by making a Brazilian delicacy. You can put this shit on anything and it'll taste good. It's mayonnaise verde, or some might say green mayo. To make the mayo, add 2 cloves of garlic to a blender, blend, then add 1 egg, blend, and blend again while slowly adding about a cup of oil until it thickens up. Then add some chives as well as some parsley. For acidity, add the juice of half a lime and blend until all incorporated. Salt and pepper to taste, and you're left with an unbelievable, make a sock taste good sauce for anything remotely edible. Woo! Oh man, that's bloody delicious. Slice up your bacon and fry it up until golden crispy. We don't like chewy bacon around these parts. Next, get your cow's hump, trim the tough layer of fat. Look at the marbling in that. And slice it into small cubes. Chop this up as fine as you can possibly get it with your knife. Then form a patty, sear on high heat, salt it, and flip it after a form crust. Then immediately add your choice of cheese. Here I'm using a Brazilian cheese called catupiry. It's essentially a cream cheese, but it's sort of less funky and it has a bit more of a buttery flavor. Cover with a lid to melt and finish cooking for about 1 or 2 minutes. Remove, and it's time to assemble. Bottom bun, green mayo, bacon, patty, caramelized onion, and top bun with more green mayo. All right guys, we made our cow hump burger. Now let's see how it tastes. Go to the elbow tuck. That's a really good burger. The hump's super beefy. The caramelized onions come in, the bacon's super fatty, the hump's super fatty, and the garlic from the mayo with the lemon really cuts it. The catupiry, it's like cream cheese, but it's not. It's like more buttery, less funky. It works really well here. All right, guys, that's it for the burger. This is a phenomenal way to use the hump, but we're still waiting on the other. I think it might be even better. Now that we got a really good sear on it, we're gonna pull it off and head back inside. Now we gotta wrap it up. We're gonna get our aluminum foil down, and we can't let any moisture get out. If the moisture gets out, it's gonna ruin the whole thing. So we're gonna do a double layer. Now we're gonna lay down some butter, and then we'll put down our hump. Now we're gonna do a few tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and now we'll wrap it up extremely tight. Now this is gonna go back on the grill until it's fall apart tender. It'll take maybe a few hours. It's gonna be at a lower temperature because we're raising up the grill, somewhere between 250 and 300 degrees Fahrenheit. And we'll just keep checking back in on it, and hopefully don't mess it up. If you couldn't tell, it's the next day. That puppy took a lot longer than I thought. I think total cook time was about 5 hours. Had to let it rest an hour. I feel like Mark Zuckerberg smoking some meats.
We are live from my backyard where I am smoking a brisket and some ribs.
You know, that happens with barbecue. One day's smoke turns into another day's lunch. But here we are, let's see how it turned out. Look at this, guys. Oh. Guys, this thing is tender, look at that. Usually you shave off pieces like this. Oh, it's just ready to fall apart. Oh man, look at that. Look at the juice. Pulls right apart. All right, you guys saw how tender that was. This is the moment we've all been waiting for, just a little bit more salt. Let's see how cow's hump tastes. It's time to take a bite. Wow. So rich and fatty. There's so much flavor. It's like brisket in the amount of fat that there is in like the brisket point, but it's not like stringy brisket texture. It's almost like a kind of like a pork roast in a way, or like Wagyu. It's extremely fatty. It's extremely tender. The beefy flavor is there, but it's not like a brisket. That's good. Oh man, that's really, really, really good. Who would even think that cows have humps and that they would taste bloody delicious? This is actually like crazy tender. I don't know what it would taste like if you had done it fast, because you really need to break down this fat. It's like very, very intertwined within the meat. I'm gonna see if I can get my hand on some more humps. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And I'll see you next week.